Perfect. Thank you. Yanis, thank you for the introduction. Helen and Yanis, both of you, thank you for inviting me. Thank you for inviting the artists to be here tonight. Really happy to see so many visitors tonight, so many people in the audience. It's really a full house, so that's really quite impressive. Tonight is a night of artist talks, of presentations, of conversations, and the idea is really to get a bit of idea of what theories and what ideas went into the exhibition, what lies behind the exhibition. So it's really the attempt is really to unravel some of the stories that compose this exhibition. And before we go ahead, I wanted to say a few words to introduce the exhibition, to introduce myself, and my co-curator, Barbara Cueto, who can't be here tonight, but with whom I've worked closely in the conception of this exhibition. So when I speak of we, it's really no royal plural, but there's actually two curators. And I will be speaking on behalf of the two of us. What we've done previously, because we've co-curated exhibitions over the course of the past, give or take 10 years, many of our previous exhibitions, we've always collaborated on digital culture, on new media, on exhibitions that look at technology, but always from a social, cultural, or from a political point of view. Which is something we've always tried. We've also tried to do with this exhibition, Other Intelligences, Other Natures, an exhibition that looks at AI, at artificial intelligence, and how it relates, how it interacts with other forms of intelligence, be they human, be they natural, be they religious, spiritual, animistic of nature. That's the core premise of this exhibition. And what we've aimed to do is to not look at AI too much from a techno-pessimist or skeptical point of view, but really to see where the surplus value of collaboration or co-creation between art and AI, where that potentially sits. So about the exhibition, the premise, as said, is really how we consider nature and how it's become something really more complex than it used to be. It's no longer just about plants, it's no longer just about animals, but there's a whole network of non-human beings, of non-human intelligences that interconnect. And that's really the approach for the exhibition. So it's holistic, if you will. So it talks about ancient belief systems, for instance, animism, in relation to or in regard to a more modern, contemporary scientific approach that will recognize that knowledge doesn't only come from human intelligence, but it comes from so much more, and there's a coexistence for the two, even an exchange. So as said, an exhibition that blends nature with culture, with technology, with non-human intelligence, and it's a particular mix that we try to unpack through the works of 5 artists or duos. Alexia Chileos, an artist who unfortunately couldn't be here tonight. We're showing one of her films in the space downstairs. I'm hoping some of you, many of you, have already seen the exhibition. If not, just a few words about that work. It's a video piece of roughly 11 minutes called Alien Forest that explores the British colonial forestry policies here in Cyprus. And the British aim to restore the island's so-called damaged landscape. But really what they tried to do was control nature, agriculture, forestation, restricting where goats could graze, planting non-native trees, so a very invasive form of natural policy. That film, the film she produced, uses historical forestry reports. She used those as a set of data to train an AI model that would generate new text. And as AI does, that often becomes a bit surreal, as you'll have heard or will hear in her film. And equally, the footage, the moving image in the film itself, is based on photos that were fed to regenerate new AI created imagery of these forest landscapes that the film discusses. Then another work that's semi-visible is Nora Al-Badri's work, which is right here. This is a light box which we've switched off for tonight. Equally, there's a three-screen video installation mounted behind this screen. What Nora explores is speculative archaeology and a museological practice, approach that uses machine learning to create what she calls techno-heritage. She trained a neural network. She fed it with thousands and thousands of images that she scraped from museum collections that had published their collections online. She approached them for their approach, but as none of them responded, it's something that came about largely without the museum's permission. And AI generated new images, new synthetic images. We'll see a few examples here as part of her Lightbox installation that serve as testimonials to the original artifacts. And she used AI to process what is called cultural data, cultural inputs. She tries to offer a speculative insight into visual patterns and forms, from eras long gone by, from ancient times, particularly the Babylonian era, which is also the namesake of her piece. Then we have an installation by the entrance, a large-scale wall print to my right, which is to your left, and a GIF that's running on the screen opposite. It's a project by Anna Riedler and Carolyn Sinders. And it's a project that explores how AI can help address the climate crisis, how it's connected to societal challenges, and it examines also AI's own role in ecological impact. So with a focus on deforestation and climate crisis, they created a data set of the bald cypress trees, trees that are sturdy, trees that are resilient, can live potentially for thousands of years, but are threatened by climate change. So that's the premise of their work. We have two more artists in this exhibition, Annemie van Kerkhoven and Harm van den Dorpel. Both are here, so I will not be speaking too much on their behalf, just maybe a word or two in terms of introduction of what to expect. Harm van den Dorpel, who is our last speaker tonight, will talk about his work Mutant Garden, a generative software piece that's normally shown here. It's a work that's created in line with or in response to previous software pieces of his, Nested Exchange and Death Imitates Language. So we'll talk a bit, I hope, about all three. Prior to Harm's presentation, Annemie van Kerkhoven and I will be in conversation. So it's a dialogue, it's an interview about her works in the exhibition. We're showing her works on the ground floor, a video installation an animation and 22 original animation cells, which she created in the 1980s. So we'll talk a bit about the circumstances and conditions under which the work came about, the theories that influenced them or surrounded the conception of those works. It's a work that really shows one of the earlier examples of artists embracing AI technology. So really adds something to the exhibition that we get to explore through her blend of artistic research and academic inquiry. But before we get to that, I'll briefly introduce Vuk Kosic, our first speaker tonight, an artist many of us will know as really quite a pioneering figure in the field of internet art, in the net art movement. And he'll be discussing one of his latest projects, the Reverse Contra Dictionary. And I hope we'll get to find out what words that are and maybe not yet make part of that contradictionary mean. And we're talking of words such as holistic, laptopless bars, scented USBs, and the Oppenheimer knödel, which I'm particularly interested in. So it's an anti-AI rebellious project with, and this is important to say, with an open invitation to contribute. So I hope we get to find out how we might get to contribute. And I think that's it for my presentation. I'm going to invite Vuk to enlighten us.